Shout out to Cats Pawd.
1 second. A good defensive play for Montana State.
Touchdown, Tommy Milan is electrifying.
Welcome to the Cats Pod. What's up, Podcats? Here we are. I'm recording live from North Carolina because I'm just a global traveler this season for some reason. And it's only created a little stress for us on the podcast with me traveling all over the country for unforeseen reasons. How are you doing today, Eric?
Good. It's been a while, man. We didn't get to record after the last game thanks to our buddy Cody's wedding. I was in it. Ben was there. And
Yep.
yeah, we were in no state to record on Saturday night. And Sunday was spent in total recovery mode. So
Yeah. Cleaning up
Here we
after
are.
the wedding and total recovery mode. So
yes. Yeah.
we apologize for missing last week. There's been some unforeseen things this week that's also delayed us recording this episode here today. But, you know, we're at it, and we can give you a little bit of a preview the day before the game. So that should be a little bit helpful. Like the morning before the game, I feel like is when a majority of people are going to listen to this. So should be good for them. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. To touch on last week just a little bit, Mercyhurst, one of Eric's favorite games in the world, right?
Yep. Stress-free.
Stress-free
Stress-free,
wins.
bro.
Got a stress-free win. Team looked sharp. Everybody out there looked pretty sharp. I couldn't really pick anything that I would like to nitpick in that game. Everybody looked real sharp.
Ooh, I have one.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
have
got one.
Targeting is BS.
Yeah.
That's what I got. I hate targeting. I've always hated targeting. And it's just obnoxious. Thank heavens that targeting call happened in the first half, so we're not going to be missing him for this upcoming game.
Mhm.
But it's just annoying, man. Like they're taking, and it's this way in the NFL too. I mean, college you can get away with a little more, but they're just taking away your ability to be a tough football player. I mean, it's a bang bang play. You really think he was actually headhunting that guy? No way. No way.
Yeah, it's always such a tough call to make, and it's hard because you're guessing somebody's intent.
Yeah.
Like you're saying that they mean it maliciously, basically.
Yeah,
But I
it's
guess even
annoying.
if it's an accident, it's still targeting. Even if you're not doing it at all intentionally, it's still targeting, and it's lame. There was some emotion issues that we don't usually see following that by our dude Caden Dowler, but
So that was that was going to be my second thing.
yeah.
Caden Dowler got called off of a retaliation. That dude pushed him.
Yeah.
They let the push go. Of course, nobody has any idea what he said,
Mm-hmm.
but good for Caden for standing up for himself. Don't let those guys push you.
Yeah. As a
Just 'cause
fan, I'm completely behind Caden. Like I support him. The guy was going after him. He should be able to chirp back a little bit. As a coach, I would tell him it's the retaliation that always gets caught. Even if somebody does you wrong, it's always the retaliation that gets caught, and that is where you lose yards on it, you know.
Yeah. Well, as long as we avoid that in tight games, whatever. But in blowout, stand up for yourself. I don't care.
Doesn't really matter too much.
No. Other things that really stood out, Tommy was sharp with a capital S.
Oh, yeah. He's looking nice. Tommy's looking nice.
Dude, that pass to Taco in the back of the end zone was a dime.
Yep. And he's also, like, there's also some chatter on the internet about how well Tommy is playing this year. There's some people that are starting to recognize just how good he is. Because in a lot of these situations, they're not noticing that, like, I think I saw the stat, Tommy has more passing touchdowns than the other top 9 quarterbacks in FCS. You have to go to the 10th ranked team in the FCS to find a quarterback who has more touchdown throws so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, when he's allowed to really run that offense with the playmakers that he has been extremely sharp. It's really encouraging.
Yep. But he's a one-trick pony, right? Can't he?
Oh, yeah.
He can only run. Yeah.
Yeah.
People are silly.
check it out.
Don't listen to him,
Yeah.
Tommy. People are silly. You're Tommy Merlot. You are a fine glass of wine. You are a fine glass of wine, sir. And we also don't talk about him too much just because he's been there for so long now. And we're so used to singing the praises of Tommy that I feel like when we started this podcast, we didn't really talk about him much because we were just always talking about it before. And it was just what we expect of him, you know?
The truth of the matter is that Tommy Mellott is going to go down as probably the best quarterback in MSU history so far.
If he wins a natty this year, it is hands down nobody can touch him. To take your team to the national championship as a freshman and then come back, go through injuries, everything like that, and then win a national championship, he would be hands down best. You couldn't make any arguments.
Yeah, it's been pretty special to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Your guy got in the end zone, Rohan.
Yeah. Rohan did his thing. He got in the end zone. I was happy to see it.
A man among boys out there.
Yeah, he is. And he's just like, he's a grown man in everything he does. Like he's, a lot of these college kids, you know, you'll see him running around, loving the ladies, everything like that. He's wifed up, loves his lady, just being a grown man out there, you know.
Yeah, let's dissect Rohan's love life. That's fun.
This is what the people come to the Cats Pod for. Oh, sorry, I put the on there. That's what they come to Cats Pod for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not used to it, apparently.
Next thing is Adam Jones had more receiving yards than rushing yards. That's pretty cool.
Ooh. Dual threat, baby. Yeah, I love that.
Brody Greavy is in form. He is.
Mm-hmm.
That dude's fully ready to rock and roll.
Yep. Oh, dude, when he sacked that dude and then he wrapped around the corner and did the team roping celebration, I was like, he's back, baby. He's back. He turned the corner. He hooked both heels. He got the money that night. He was in the money for sure.
He's a finalist for the academic Heisman.
Really?
He's made the top 3.
Isn't he also like an engineering major? Like it's a tough major, right?
Oh,
something like that.
I'm not sure what his major is, but to be a finalist for that, it was him, Efton Chisholm, and Trey Gradney from the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember what his name is or what his first name is, but yeah, Brody's a finalist. That's freaking impressive.
Yeah, and if I remember right, it was not a cupcake major that he was in. So if he's pulling the grades and he's not in a cupcake major, like that is very impressive.
Yeah, kudos to that guy. Yeah, it was just all around, honestly, a really impressive game. I wish we could have recorded after because, like you said, those are my kind of wins. Stress-free, baby.
It would have been a really fun game to talk about right away just because it's all good. It's all gravy that you get to talk about.
The Cats finally covered the spread.
They did? I thought it ended up... Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought they missed it by a little bit. But yeah, they did cover the spread. With the Montana Sports Bet, the spreads move so much, so it's hard to keep track of what the spread even is.
Yeah. I shouldn't say they covered the spread I looked at. Of course, I was busy with that wedding. I couldn't go bet. But the spread I would, at the time, would have bet did cover.
There you go. Theoretically, the theoretical bet I would have made would have hit.
Yeah. Thanks, Sportsbet, for being ridiculous, but
you really like to help us out a lot.
Yeah, love you guys. Always have, always will.
Yep. We don't have a huge slate of games this week.
Yeah, it is a little light, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you on ESPN?
I am on ESPN, yes.
Okay, so we got the same order.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You start her off, buddy.
Okay. First up, you know why he's having me start this thing off. You know which team is coming up right now. Cal Poly versus Northern Colorado. Northern Colorado, who has looked very good. Northern Colorado, who took Abilene Christian to the wire. A team that played a tight game with Texas Tech. The Bears are a force to be reckoned with. They are a sleeping giant. They are the hibernating Bears. I talk about the Grizz hibernating, okay? But the real team that's hibernating right now is the Northern Colorado Bears. Shout out to the Bear Down podcast. Let me on your show whenever, and we can talk some Northern Colorado football because I've started actually watching the games that started off as a bit, but now I'm getting more and more bought into this team. Their quarterback is fun to watch. He's a tough dude. Like, he's a very fun player to watch. If Northern Colorado is going to pull off a game in the Big Sky, it's this game right here. So I'm going Bears. Going Bears.
I'm rolling with you, man. The Bears are going to get it done.
Yeah.
Cal
Glad you're on the
Poly
same page this time.
Cal Poly is trash.
Yeah.
Northern Colorado is trash.
Mm-hmm.
But which one is more trash? I think Northern Colorado hasn't won a game in so long they don't know what it's like.
Yeah.
They're going to win this. They have to win this.
Uh-huh.
The laws of the universe are going to make them. If there was a game script, Ben, Northern Colorado would win this game.
Yep. There would be.
And once again, everybody tuned in to hear Ben's monologue on Northern Colorado.
Yep. It's also a home game for Northern Colorado, so they're gonna have that police officer boogieing down on the sideline with the mascot. So those vibes can't lose. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it'll be really fun for their 16 fans to enjoy.
Oh, they'll love it. It's so funny watching those games because they'll they do the crowd shots of like the student section. They did a crowd shot once during the game. It was 4 people. I was like, sorry. I feel bad for them. Like, I'm like, you guys deserve more. You're putting way too much out on the field right now to just have 4 students out there.
Okay. And so, unanimous Northern Colorado pick. Next game we have is Sac State at Northern Arizona.
That's going to be an interesting game. I hope I can watch a little bit of that thing. I don't know if it's going to happen with what I got going on tomorrow, but that's going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah. Northern Arizona has been frisky last year, this year.
Mm-hmm.
They put the stats perform. Coaches poll, they put a lot of faith in Sac State. They're ranked high, and I've said all along this season, I don't get it. Mm-hmm. Sac State is not that good.
Yeah.
Until they prove otherwise, I don't believe in them. So the spread is, of course, it's not going to tell me the spread here.
Yeah.
But
they're gonna keep you iced out.
Yeah.
I would imagine this is a pretty tight spread. I would put this as a pretty pick'em game. Do you think it's a slight advantage for Sac State?
I think you take a lot of the favoritism away playing at elevation because this is not a Montana team going there that at least has some elevation. Mm. This is a sea level team going to 7,000 feet.
Yeah.
I think that levels the playing field pretty substantially. I kind of like it. Maybe an upset here.
Yeah, you think Northern Arizona winning would be an upset in this situation?
I do, and I think a fairly substantial one.
Mm-hmm. We got 2-2 teams right here. It's hard to tell anything from the schedules.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah, and I feel like I've liked the way Northern Arizona's played football better than the way Sac State has played in these games.
I don't like either. Both of these teams are. I just really have never thought either one of these teams was really that good.
Yeah.
Northern Arizona is maybe a little better than I thought they might be, but Sac State is overranked in my opinion. Yeah. They're going to 7,000 feet against a somewhat frisky Northern Arizona team.
Yeah.
This game smells like upset to me. Yeah. We watched it happen with the Grizzlies last year. I think it could happen here.
Yeah. As far as like the passing, rushing, and receiving leaders, it looks like at quarterback, Sac State has a slight advantage. Their running back, it's a pretty significant advantage. And the wide receiver core, their top wide receiver is better than the top wide receiver for Northern Arizona. So at those skill positions, it looks like Sac State is better. But like you said, I don't like the way the whole team operates as a whole. They've got some talented players, but I don't think they're a good unit, you know?
I've watched their games. Their quarterback, I mean, maybe things are getting better, but he's just not that good. I mean, logic tells you Sac State wins this game. They are a better team.
Yeah.
No doubt. They are a better team. I just kind of wonder if this is maybe an upset that Northern Arizona. I mean, everything's off at Northern Arizona.
Yep.
Everything's different.
Yep.
And you're taking a sea-level team to 7,000 feet. I mean, they only have 2 days to adjust. If they traveled there today, they're going to be there today and tomorrow. So
that does make it difficult.
It does. I mean, they're going to have to be, their bench is going to have to help out here. Mm-hmm. And like I said, logic says Sac State wins. They probably do, but I'm going to pick an upset here. Northern Arizona.
I'll roll with you, and I'll go with the Lumberjacks.
Let's go. Let's
I
go.
Think the Lumberjacks have a solid team this year. I don't even think it's that big of an upset for them to beat Sac State. I think as things pan out throughout the season, Northern Arizona is going to be much closer to Sac State than people think.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah.
Next, we have Portland State at Chattanooga.
Snooze fest. Sorry.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be so negative, but I'm just like, there's nothing about that game that gets me jazzed up in any way, shape, or form.
No. I'm pretty sure Chattanooga is going to destroy Portland State, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Portland State is garbage.
It would be good for the Big Sky if they beat Chattanooga. I mean, they're both 0-3 teams. Chattanooga was one of the top teams in that conference last year. I think that's the one with Furman in it, I believe. Because I watched Furman Chattanooga because it was a ranked-on-ranked matchup near the end of the year last year. But it doesn't seem like Chattanooga's playing very good football. I don't know. I really don't see much out of it. I don't understand why. I know why Portland State has only played 3 games this year. I would want to know why Chattanooga's only played 3 games.
Yeah, I can't give you that.
Yeah.
I will say, I mean, Chattanooga has had I don't know. They lost to Mercer last week by 7 points. 10-3.
Yep.
And Mercer, I think, is supposed to be decent.
Yeah.
And they played Georgia State and Tennessee as their other 2 games.
Yeah. I think you're right about Chattanooga. I think I'm not sure. Yeah. I think you're right.
Let's remember the game Chattanooga played Tennessee and they lost 69-3.
Yep.
First game of the year.
Yeah. Against a really good team. I'm not those scores I'll throw out the window.
Portland State lost to Washington State first game of the year 70-30.
Yes. They put points on the board though. Let me tell you. Those boys put points on the board.
Yeah, I think Chattanooga is probably going to win this. I think we should stop talking about this game.
Okay, I said it was a snooze fest, and then we continue to talk about it for 5 minutes. This is how brain broken I am. Should we skip down one game so we can talk about the Montana teams at the end?
We still got 2 more Big Sky games that don't involve Montana teams.
Yep.
McNeese at Weber.
Yep.
Let's talk about that one. Clifton McDowell makes his return to the Big Sky Conference.
Yep. And he's playing pretty well, honestly. Like, Not spectacular, but stats wise, it's not too bad. I mean, 48 for 74, 815 pass yards so far this season, 6 touchdowns. The little bugaboo you got to worry about here is the 2 interceptions. 2
Yeah.
INTs already this year.
McNeese was supposed to be decent before the season started, and I'm pretty sure they took a kind of a bad L first game of the year. Like I think it was week 0 they played. They've kind of picked it back up, and Weber State is, kind of mid right now. But I think I'm gonna put my money on Weber State.
I think so too. Looking at this breakdown of McNeese State right now, the story of McNeese State from start to finish is Clifton McDowell. Clifton McDowell is the leading passer and the leading rusher on this team. He's got 5 rushing touchdowns, 6 passing touchdowns, 11 touchdowns on the season. He's playing some great football over there at McNeese. Really glad to see him do it for a team that's not the Grizzlies. It makes me very happy for him.
Yeah.
I think I would also go Weber State because I don't think just Clifton McDowell is enough.
I don't think so either. I think that's a perfectly fair thing. Clifton McDowell, if you make him throw the ball, there's a chance he could turn it over. He's not the most gifted passer in the world. Weber State usually has a fairly good defense.
Yep.
I think Weber State probably gets this one done as long as they can control him.
I think it'll be a fairly close game. Not talking blowout status. I wouldn't even call this a multiple score game. I could see this very well ending up being a 7-point game, or at the wire, there's a chance for either team to win. But I think Weber State pulls it out.
Yeah, I think that's how I see it happening. I think it's 2 pretty evenly matched teams going head to head, and it's probably going to come down to the very end of the game and probably no more than a touchdown difference.
Yep. Looking at their schedule so far, they got beat by Tarleton State, which is not a good. Oh no, that was I'm right.
Yeah, you're right. That was week 0. That was the bad loss I was talking about.
Yeah, that's the bad loss. They beat Southern, which I don't know who they are. They lost to Texas A&M by quite a bit. Beat Stephen F. Austin in a close one. Beat Alcorn State by quite a bit. I don't think they're the type of team that can hang. I don't think they're the type of team that can pull ahead of Weber State in a way that you need to.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Weber's gonna win this game, but maybe McNeese will prove me wrong.
It's possible. This next one's a pretty big matchup. We
This
got
is,
Idaho versus UC Davis.
Yes.
This one's going to show a lot.
I really, really, really want to watch this game. It's late, too. It's a late game.
Late. This game starts at 10 p.m. where I'm at right now. And I have to be on a 5:30 flight the next morning. So I may just be pulling an all-nighter so I can watch Idaho play UC Davis. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be... Don't put your hand down because I'm putting an all-nighter, okay? This is an audio-only format today. Sorry, fans that love seeing our beautiful faces. But you can put your hand down right now with whatever that motion was you were giving me, because I will be pulling an all-nighter to watch this game. I will be sleeping on those flights on the way back.
I am extremely excited to see just what both of these teams are made of. It's Idaho has shown that they are incredibly talented. UC Davis has the players.
Yep.
They have arguably the best player on both of those squads in Lance Larison. What's going to happen?
Yeah, you're right. Land Larison is good. You love Land Larison a lot. You're a big fan. You're the biggest Land Larison stan in the world is Eric Lauver. Let me tell you.
He's very good.
He is very good. I mean, yeah, he is very good.
I would like to see I guess I can't pick against Idaho because UC Davis hasn't shown us enough that they could beat a team like Idaho. I mean, Idaho, they kept it close with Oregon. They have an FBS win over Wyoming. I mean, they've done exactly what they were supposed to do. They blew out who the heck was it? Oh, I guess they didn't really blow. I thought it was a blowout. Oh, it was Albany. They blew out Albany, who was a playoff team, and then Abilene Christian took them down to the wire somewhat, 27-24.
So things might be tighter in the Big Sky Conference than we originally thought.
It might be. And
it's hard to play with, I'm going to say it for the first time this season, the transitory property of college football.
Yeah.
But just because one team plays a certain way against another team doesn't mean all that much. But if you look at Abilene Christian as a line in the sand or as a level, that means that they're just as good as Northern Colorado. Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, that's not completely unfair, to be totally honest with you.
It is completely unfair. I'll tell you the thing that kind of bugs me about this game is UC Davis just has a bit of the turnover bug. I'm looking at some of their stats. Quarterback's got 5 INTs already this season. You hate to see that 4 games into the season. And Idaho has a very good defense.
Yeah.
And Idaho is the type of team where they don't make a lot of mistakes, and they're just waiting for you to make a mistake so they can capitalize on it.
Boy, it would be nice for Montana State if Idaho lost, though.
It would be real nice. And UC Davis needs to win this game if they have any hopes of getting into the playoffs. I know it's super early to say that. They're 3-1. They could probably bounce back a little bit. But I'm saying for me, they need a quality win against a team like Idaho to really bolster their playoff chances.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know, man. UC Davis has a brutal schedule. Brutal. They got Idaho. They've got Montana, Montana State, and Sac State. So pretty much anybody who's anybody in the Big Sky, they have to play them this year.
Yep.
If they beat Idaho, that's huge. Because chances are they're probably not going to beat Idaho, Montana, Montana State, and Sac State. They're going to have to lose. They're going to lose the Montana State game, but
they're probably going to lose 2 out of the 3 of the next ones.
Right.
At least.
So
they might pull off one against any 3 of the top teams, because like you said, they're a very talented team. They could pull off a win against any of those top teams. They're probably going to beat Sac State, I would say. But they're going to lose 2 games for sure.
I'm definitely going to pick Idaho here. Idaho had some injuries. Idaho, probably should have beat Abilene Christian by a little more than they did. But I just feel like Idaho's defense is going to wreak havoc somewhere. Yeah. It may not be often, but somewhere they're going to do something that's going to change the course of that game, whether or not they have their starting quarterback or Idaho has their starting quarterback or not.
Idaho is too good of a team to lose this game. They just are.
You would sure think so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So now let's get into some Montana team stuff. So first off, we got Montana at Eastern Washington.
Yikes.
We won't be watching this on that godforsaken red field.
Won't be watching this game?
I mean, probably will, but I'll hate it.
Have to watch part of it at least.
I hate watching anything
to it.
Field.
All right.
So
fully unbiased here. I'm pretty sure. Is Ayat all right? Last weekend I was hearing some chatter that he was not all right. Like injury wise.
I have not heard anything.
Okay.
I haven't heard a word. Not saying there is, not saying there isn't, but I haven't heard anything that he's hurt. Ayat had a pretty solid game last week. I think that I think Montana's better at every single point than Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
But playing on that red, there's something about that red field. It's like going to Northern Arizona. It's just hard to play on.
Here's a good point of debate for this game. Is Junior Bergen a better wide receiver than Efton Chisholm?
I think Junior Bergen is a better football player than Efton Chisholm, but wide receiver, no.
Okay.
Efton Chisholm is probably, I mean, he is good. He's very, very. I mean, I don't think that he's a better wide receiver. Junior Bergen is so valuable because of his return game on top of what he can do in the passing game.
Yeah.
Receiving game, I should say.
These are the kind of questions that really kind of throw me for a loop just because the nature of who we are. Being fans, not having a ton of football knowledge. Like, I can't tell you what makes a wide receiver a good route runner. I can't just watch somebody run a route and be like, "Oh, he ran that route super well." I can see him make big plays. I can see the athletic components of it. I can see the speed. I can see different things like that, and that's what makes me think that Junior Bergen is a better wide receiver. But if somebody was more nuanced and had a more nuanced like idea of football, I think they could probably convince me that Efton Chisholm was the better player pretty easily.
Well, it's just Efton Chisholm has a good game every time he touches the field.
Yeah.
And everybody knows who he is, and he still has really good games. That's the thing about him that makes him so special. Junior Bergen doesn't necessarily have great receiving games every time he touches the field, you know?
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you know, he's not much of a factor in the receiving game, but he's always dangerous in the return game. Always, no matter what.
That's a really good point. It also kind of bolsters Efton Chisholm's receiving game because we don't know anybody else on that team as a receiver.
Right.
I couldn't name a single other dude in that receiving core.
No.
So it's like he has all the attention of the defense and he still puts up huge numbers and has great games.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, he has way more attention than anyone else, does way more than anyone else, and everybody knows about him, and he still does more than everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, it's the Grizzlies, so I'm picking Eastern Washington.
Yeah. I'm trying to be less biased this season. I'm trying to actually pick games the way I believe that they're going to go so we don't look stupid every week. Saying that, also picking the Eagles this week.
The Eagles? He's
picking the Eagles. Picking the Eagles. The 1-3 Eagles, they're going to have a bounce back game. They're going to beat Montana because they're going to be so shook by that red field because it's so intimidating. We painted the field red. It's so intimidating now. Oh, my God. Yeah, that's what we're going with.
I like it. Mm-hmm. We got a unanimous Eastern Washington. Down go the Grizzlies. They're going to get their second loss on the season.
Yep. Now people are going to think I'm actually just an idiot. Like they kind of thought it beforehand, but now they're actually going to take me at face value saying I'm going to pick games without bias. And that I actually think Eastern Washington's going to beat the Grizz.
Hey, I wonder how long it's been since the Grizzlies won in Eastern Washington.
Oh, somebody just posted that on FCS Nation too.
Never?
I think it's... It was like the last time the Grizz had beat everybody at their home field. And I want to say it was 2015 for Eastern Washington.
That could be.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. But, that being said, tall task for Eastern Washington.
Oh, yeah.
And Lord knows I hope they do it.
The Grizz are playing good football. Hate to say
And
it.
now, I mean, dude, they're 1 week removed from a loss.
Yeah. I mean, 2 weeks
1
now,
week.
right?
2 weeks now,
2
yes,
weeks
but
now.
1 game removed from a
One game removed, yeah. I get you. I
Now-
shouldn't do that.
We have our Montana State Bobcats
Yep.
traveling to Pocatello, Idaho to play the Idaho State Bengals. Oh, God. Cue the Bobcat noise.
I don't know what I just did there, but I hit a button on my new soundboard, and it made a sound that I did not enjoy.
It was harsh. It
Yeah.
was harsh.
Yep, that was a lot. Sorry to all the listeners. I'll make sure that I try and edit that out. But you guys all know my editing capabilities after last week. This is a learning process for me, and I sincerely apologize. Can't believe I don't even know how I screwed up that one so bad. But thanks everybody for listening and letting me know that I actually screwed it up. That was helpful.
Yeah. So with this game, it started off. So ESPN Bet is funny
Yeah.
because it's ESPN Bet says started off at minus 21.5 Montana State,
Mm-hmm.
and it right now is at minus 17,
Okay.
which is kind of stupid, but
The spread's slightly moving Idaho State, so money is getting put on Idaho State at minus
Sportsbet
21.5.
Montana.
Yeah.
Sportsbet Montana opened at minus 13.5
Mm-hmm.
and is now at minus 17.5.
Yeah.
So I don't.
God,
I
wish
guess
I
a
would
lot
have
of
known
Bobcat
that, and I
fans.
also wish I was in Montana to hammer that 13.5 point spread.
It's at 17.5 now.
Yeah.
Over under 59.5. I can't. I mean, just looking at the season leaders for Idaho State, Tommy Millott has more passing yards and less interceptions and more touchdowns. Scott Trey Humphrey, more carries, way more yards, way more touchdowns, and they have a receiver that has over double the receptions and less than or just over double or just under double the receiving yards of Laniata Alexander.
Yeah.
So I'm not seeing anything to point toward any reason to be nervous here.
No, there really isn't. I mean, just that Scott Ray Humphrey stat line that he has so far this season with 55 carries for 434 yards. It's insane.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to take a moment right now, since we're talking about the running backs, to talk about the new Juice Squad shirt that is on the Bobcat Collective NIL shop. That is an instant buy for me. That is an instant buy. That is a sick shirt. Got all my favorite people on it.
When I saw it, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to probably get that one.
Yeah, put that right next to the Run the Damn Ball t-shirt.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Idaho State is still just their Idaho State. I mean, they're not the worst, but they are not really good either.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The Bobcat defense is so good right now. I mean, I don't know what to say about the Bobcat defense anymore. I mean, they've just proven I know we played some scrubs lately, but it is so destructive. I mean, the yardage they're gaining against our starters is nothing. I'm really not seeing a reason. I mean, I'm not seeing anything about Idaho State that leads me to believe that they're going to get any more yards than any of these other teams. I mean, Brody Grebe is on one right now. The whole defensive line is on one right now. The linebacking core is unbelievable, and the secondary is playing the best football I've seen them play in years.
Yeah. I do not want to be Kobe Tracy before this next game. that is the one person that I would not want to be on that field. The quarterback for Idaho State is going to be running for his life on a lot of these plays.
He's going to have a long night, a really long night.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they decide to call this game. I kind of wonder. Obviously, it's a run-first team. They're going to hand the ball to the running backs and let them do their job. But Tommy's proven that he's more than capable of sitting right in there and dicing up a defense at will. So, to me, that's the biggest intrigue on the game is how do they call this game?
The old Bobcats, I feel like they would make this a run game versus pass game situation. They would run the ball heavy. They would try and control the clock by running the ball heavily. And they would keep a primarily passing offense off the field.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it, the leading rusher for Idaho State has 18 carries this year. They don't rush the ball much.
No.
And
no.
We are seeing a Cat defensive line who is increasingly playing better every single week against the pass. The pass rushing has looked better every single week.
Yeah. I mean, those guys are really finding their groove and figuring it out. And the defensive line looks very, very tough.
Yep.
I'd like to cause some drama for the listeners here.
Okay.
But I'm not seeing anything to do that with.
Yeah.
I'm really not. Idaho State they're just a middle of the road team, and they always have been.
You really kind of shook me there for a second, because you were like, I want to start some drama for the fans, and I was like, oh, Drama Lover has entered the chat. Here we go. He's gonna drop a nugget for me, and then there was no nugget to be dropped.
And I have no nuggets. I have nothing. Our team is healthy again. I mean, we lost Blake Stillwell for the season. He had surgery. He's done. But I mean, he wasn't a starter.
Still waiting on Julius Davis to come back, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, still waiting on Julius.
Oh, if I see number 32 on the sideline for this game, do you know what kind of spread I would bet? I would bet a 30 points. I would bet a 50-point spread for the Cats.
32 was running up and down the sidelines last week. 32's in good shape right now, and he don't need to play this game because he can get his warm up for Idaho at Northern Colorado.
Eric, come on, dude! Why do you always have to be so mature about this? Why do you always have to be bringing up the mature and sensible thing to do and not put him on the field yet and let him rest and get more healthy? I want to see Julius Davis, okay? I want to see him run the football. No, I'm kidding.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm just saying. First game, Julius is back, hammering the over, and hammering whatever spread it is.
Yeah. So I pulled the Sportsbet Montana props. You want to hear them?
Yep.
Okay, so we got Tommy Mellott 165, Adam Jones 75. Adam Jones 75, Scottre Humphrey 125.
Mm-hmm.
Those ones are, I don't hate them at all.
Yep.
Just single player props. Tommy Mellott 165 at minus 111 I feel that's pretty good.
Yeah. I would feel pretty safe with that bet.
Scotty Humphrey 110 plus rush yards at minus 118.
Yep.
Not bad.
Not bad.
There are no positive odds on any single player prop.
Thank you, Montana Sportsbet. We hate your guts.
Yep. The best odds for a player combo are Tommy Mellott 2+ touchdowns and Tommy Mellott 2+ rush touchdowns.
Don't fall into this trap. It's a trap I've fallen in before.
plus 1,000, man. That's ridiculous.
They always do
Especially
that.
be like,
They throw me a little nuggie like that, like a little nuggie. They throw me just a little bitty thing that I can throw a couple dollars on, and I always lose those couple dollars. Not doing it.
yeah, I mean, that would mean he would combine for 4 touchdowns in one game. That's just ludicrous. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, we can't even get a single player prop with a plus odds on it.
Yeah.
Right? No good odds. I mean, I don't hate the 118 on Tommy Malott, but or minus 118, but gosh, man, I mean, what do we have to do to get some juiced up or Sportsbet Montana?
I would settle for a little bit of juice. I would settle for like 5% concentrate right now. I don't need a ton of juice. Even. Yeah. Some even odds would be glorious.
How about even?
Yeah.
Why do we have to skew everything so hard?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to compose an email and send it to Sportsbet Montana and tell them how much I hate them tomorrow.
Yeah. We should get that on the next ballot. And then we can flood the internet with political commercials about Montana sports bet.
Yes. Speaking of betting, I'm probably gonna put my money on Cats to cover.
Okay. I'm not mad about that.
Yeah.
I have not seen anything out of Idaho State that makes me think they have that little chippiness that they had last year. There was a bit of an edge to that team. They played some tough games against some tough teams. I have not seen that thus far. I have lost all my faith in the Bengals, and I would say that the Cats are going to have another fairly dominant game.
I would be very shocked if it isn't a bit of a beatdown. The 17.5 is kind of a weird number. I mean, winning by 18 is a bit strange.
It's basically 3 touchdowns. Like, you might as well call it 3 touchdowns.
That's what I'm saying. I'd probably change mine to the alternate point spread and go with 3 touchdowns.
Oh yeah. Go to the 21.
If I had. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. And we have minus 20.5 is plus 115 is probably where I'll lay my money.
I like that. I'm not
a 3 TD win. Over under is 59.5. That's pretty substantial.
State, so I'm out of luck.
Thanks, North Carolina.
Thanks, North Carolina. I think I can if I drove to one of the casinos, but the nearest one is 55 miles away. It's not happening.
Yeah. So I'm predicting a pretty stress-free win here.
And I'm completely on board with you, good sir. I think that's a great pick.
Go Cats.
Go Cats, baby. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited just to see Big Sky football, like actual Big Sky conference play.
I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. Anything else you want to tell the peoples before I give my sister back her hotel room?
Well, I think at this point, we're going to have a nice stress-free win. We're going to have a nice upset over Idaho. So Montana State will be comfortably above Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have an Eastern Washington upset to set the Grizzlies back to 16, 17 maybe, somewhere in there. And, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
I think it's going to be nice.
Northern Colorado's
doing things. They going to win.
Yeah.
They going to win for sure. Bear down.
We're rooting for the beaten. The absolutely beaten.
Yep. Got to do it. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, or even if you didn't and you still like us a little bit, please rate this 5 stars wherever you're listening to this at. Make sure you follow us on Instagram or X at CatsPod. We will be bringing you another episode tomorrow night after the game, unless there is another unforeseen issue that causes us not to be able to, which I don't see that happening. But we will be giving you guys an episode. Hopefully we are celebrating the win, the dominant win over Idaho State. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying game day morning. We'll see you next week or tomorrow.
Adios.